man Rocknot here with my 50 subs video for you guys, which will be my top 10 favorite games of all time. Now, as I've said in previous videos, this video will be limited to one game per franchise. So, there won't be multiple Final Fantasies throughout this, because if I didn't do that rule, I could have a top 10 full of Final Fantasy games easily. So there won't be any of that in this video. So it'll be one game per franchise. Alright, so let's just get right down to it. Number 10 is Mutant League Hockey on the Sega Genesis. Mutant League, now I'm not a huge sports game person, but Mutant League Hockey is my favorite sports game of all time. Why? Because if you can't beat them on the scoreboard, you kill the other team and you win the game that way. No other sports game I've ever played, other than football, Mutant League, allows you to do such a thing. And I think that is fantastic. That is why this game is my number 10. Number 9 on this list is Rock and Roll Racing on the Super Nintendo. Now, this game is great for a couple of reasons. First reason is it is actually the first game to feature real songs without vocals in the game. So there are I think there's Bad to the Bone and a few other awesome classic rock songs in this game, as well as it's an awesome combat racer. And Interplay actually pulls a lot of their main characters from other games and use them as playable characters in this game. It's really cool, and that's why that game is my number 9. Now, coming in at number 8 is actually a movie-based title, but in my opinion, it's one of the best movie-based games out there, period. And that's Batman on the NES. Now, yeah, I know what you're all thinking. Well, what about Arkham Asylum? What about Arkham City? No. For back in the day when this was released, fantastic Batman game. Awesome action platformer, tons of weapons, just an all-around awesome game, and a must-have for any NES collector. So definitely, that is why Batman on the NES is my number 8. Coming in at number 7 is another racing title. Now, this franchise has been around for quite some time and has quite a reputation and quite a following for great games. Dipped a little bit on the GameCube, but came back on the Wii, and that is Mario Kart 8. Now, I haven't played a Mario Kart game since the GameCube, and then when I got my Wii U, I had to have it, because I'd heard such great things, and, it didn't disappoint. I think it is a fantastic game, must own for any Wii U owners. As well, it's a kid-friendly game and great for parties. The anti-gravity in it is awesome, and the different elements throughout the tracks is just very well done. I couldn't ask for a better Mario Kart game, and that's why it is my number 7. Coming in at number 6 is a childhood game that I've played forever. I beat it many times on the hardest difficulty, and I even not losing a life as a child. But since I've become an adult, I can't beat it. I can't even come close to beating it. And that's Double Dragon 2 on the NES. Now, this game, it's the predecessor to Double Dragon, which was an arcade port. This one, I think it's much better Then number 1, although number 1 is a great game, don't get me wrong. But number 3, they dropped the ball. I love this game. I hate playing 2-player B mode because I always end up killing my partner, and it just, it doesn't work out well. But definitely a great game, great action game, and that's why it's number 5. Now coming in at number 4, actually, sorry, that's number 6. Coming in at number 5, now, number 4 and number 5 are very close in my opinion. There's really no difference between the two, to be honest. But at number 5 comes a JRPG on the PS1. Great game, fantastic story, and this game just doesn't get enough love. Now, I've heard CGR mention this game a couple of times, and he's pretty much the only YouTuber I've heard mention this game. Now, that's Legend of Dragoon on the PS1. Now, this game is a 4-disc game, so it's quite long, and the combat system, what separates this game from any other game is the combat system, because it's time-based like it is turn-based combat, but it's also, if you time your attack just right, you continue on a chain. And the more hits you score, the more damage you do. And then you've got the Dragoon powers on top of that. It's just a great game. And then the story keeps you involved the entire time. So definitely a must-own for any RPG lover who, has a PS1. Or even go and get the ROM. Fantastic game, and that's why it's number 5. Now, at number 4, it's actually a remake title. I loved the original on the PS1, but then when this remake came out, I had to have it. And it's, the original survivor horror game, Resident Evil remake on the GameCube. How they updated the graphics was amazing. Also added different things to the story, made it better. Just all around fantastic game. I wish Resident Evil would go back to its roots. They did great with 1, 2, and 3, and then Resident Evil 4 was awesome as well. Gun Survivor on the PS1, although I used to own it, no longer own it now because I was stupid. Don't ask. First-person shooter style game. Good game for Resident Evil, but doesn't get a whole lot of love. But definitely, again, another must-own. I have actually come across the remake version of this on the 360. I'm debating buying it because apparently they've changed all the controls and everything, so it's definitely, worth a look at. If you can't get your hands on this, get the copy for the PSN or the Xbox Live. I think it's $20 on there. It's a steal. Now at number 3, a lot of people probably hang me for not having this game higher. And that's Legend of Zelda on the N64. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64. Yes, it's my number 3. Even though I do have that great Zelda shelf back here, it is my number 3 game of all time. I love the almost open world of this game. You went from the original Legend of Zelda top-down view, and then you had Zelda 2, Link's Adventure, which was a side-scrolling platformer almost, and then your top-down view for adventuring. Those were great. And then Link to the Past blew my socks off. But then this one, when I played it for the first time as a teenager, just blew my mind. I couldn't see a better Zelda game. Now, unfortunately, I haven't played many Zelda games after this one. I own a bunch. I haven't played them yet. Maybe that's why this is still my top Zelda game. But, you know what? I still love it. I did play Majora's Mask. Couldn't really get into it because, I think as a teenager I wasn't wasn't patient enough for Majora's Mask. But definitely love this game. It's a must-own for any 64 owners. If you've got a 3DS, go get the 3DS version. I heard it's fantastic too.
And number 2 is Silent Hill on the PS1. Now, unfortunately, I no longer own this game. As of 6 years ago, I was going through some financial problems and sold a big chunk of my collection. And unfortunately, this is one of the games that I've sold, and I've been looking for it ever since I pretty much sold it. I remember as a teenager playing this game at like 2 a.m. in the morning with all the lights off, and it just scaring the living hell out of me. And a lot of video games don't do that to me. And, this game has left a long-lasting impression on me. And, that's why it's number 2. Especially, when you're in the school, like this scene is showing here, and you've got those childlike creatures coming at you. It's just insane. And then you've got the multiple endings. And that is why Silent Hill on the PS1 is number 2.
And my number 1 choice for top video game of all time, and you guys have probably guessed it if you've watched any of my videos, it was originally released in Japan as number 6. A great JRPG, but the developers of this game felt that North American players weren't ready for the original number 3 version of this game, so they released their number 6 as number 3 over here in North America. And if you know me, you've guessed this one. And it's Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo, or Final Fantasy VI, which is included in the anthology on PS1. Now this game, I have literally spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours on. I have beat it so many times I can't even count. I just absolutely love this game. And there are 3 main reasons why I love this game. The story is just so captivating with the game. You start off as Terra, who is a magic user, but you don't know much of her background in the very beginning. All you know is that she's wearing a slave crown from the Empire, and she's under their control. That's all you know in the beginning, and then it goes from there. All the secrets in the game are just amazing. Going around and trying to get everything, especially after the big event halfway through the game. And then, big spoiler alert if you guys haven't played this game. If you haven't played this game, I'd suggest skipping ahead about 30-45 seconds, because this is a big spoiler. Okay, for those of you that have stayed, the main reason I love this game so much is that the bad guys get a major win. Halfway through the game, Kefka turns on the Emperor, and he positions the this goddess statues, which destroys the world, sends it into the world of ruin. He kills the Emperor. He scatters your party members all over the world, and you have to find them all again. You just never saw that in the game up until that point, and it just, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe that the bad guy had won. When I first got to that point in the game, I was like, no. I thought the game was over. I'm like, oh my god, did I do something wrong? Do I have to start over? And then it goes back to Celeste, and you're nursing Sid back to health, and Eventually, you give him the 3 rotten fish and he dies, and then your adventure continues on. Actually, no. You can nurse him back to health as well by giving him the best fish, and he'll tell you where the raft is, and you can go and continue your mission. So there is 2 ways of getting off the island, for those of you that don't know. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, those are my top 10 games of all time. I hope you enjoyed some of the cuts that I've entered into this as well. It's my first time doing that, so give me feedback on that. Yeah. It's been a great ride with you guys. I want to thank all of you who have been with me from the beginning, and even those that have just subscribed, for staying subscribed to my channel. I appreciate it. My wife pointed out to me that at the end of every video, thank you guys for wasting your time with me. I don't mean it as an insult. I sincerely thank you guys for spending your time watching my videos. I appreciate it. I do this because it's fun, and I like doing it. I like sharing my opinions, my pickups with you guys. I love the gaming community on YouTube. I think it's awesome. And the fact that you guys are willing to subscribe to my channel and always watch my videos or share my videos and comment, it's awesome. I have fans. I never thought I would have fans. It's greatly appreciated, and I thank you all very much. Leave your comments in the section below. What are your top 10 games of all time? Are they anywhere near mine? Do you have better games? Do you have worse games? Do you have a top 10? Or do you just have games that you love playing? And of course, subscribe to, if you're not already, click that subscribe button. Click it. You won't, I hope I won't disappoint you. So you can also stay up to date with all of my upcoming videos. I appreciate you all spending your time with me. Thank you very much. Have a good one.